to the Bible, the true living word, sweetest old story that ever was heard. Back to the joy life my soul longs to know. Bethel is calling, and I must go. Back to Bethel, I must go. Back where the rivers of sweet waters flow. Back to the true life my soul longs to know. Bethel is calling, and I must go. Back to the beautiful path I once trod. Back to the church and the people of God. Out of the cold world of sin and its woe, Bethel is calling, and I must go. Back to Bethel, I must go. Back where the rivers of sweet waters flow. Back to the true life my soul longs to know. Bethel is calling, and I must go. Back to the giving of money and time. Back to the life of contentment sublime. Back to protection the world cannot know. Bethel is calling, and I must go. Back to Bethel, I must go. Back where the rivers of sweet waters flow. Back to the true life my soul longs to know. Bethel is calling, and I must go. It's me, oh Lord, it is me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, it is me, oh Lord, I'm standing in the need of prayer. Not my father, not my mother, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not my sister, not my brother, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, it is me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, it is me, oh Lord, I'm standing in the need of prayer. Not the pastor, not the preacher, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not the teacher, not the worker, but it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, O Lord, it is me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, O Lord, it is me, O Lord, I'm standing in the need of prayer.
Back to our Bethel.
Pípadà sí Bẹ́tẹ́lì wa.
Back to our Bethel.
Pípadà sí Bẹ́tẹ́lì wa.
That is the theme of our message this morning.
Kókó ọ̀rọ̀ ìyànjú wa òwúrọ̀ yìí nìyẹn.
What is Bethel?
Kí ni Bẹ́tẹ́lì?
Bethel is the place where people meet God.
Bẹ́tẹ́lì jẹ́ ibi tí àwọn ènìyàn ń pàdé Ọlọ́run.
The father of faith, Abraham, after God called him out of the awe of the Chaldees, it was at this Bethel that he raised up an altar and he communed with God.
Nígbà tí Ọlọ́run pè Abrahamu bàbá ìgbàgbọ́ jáde láti orí ti Chaldea ní Bẹ́tẹ́lì yìí ni ó ti tẹ́ pẹpẹ.
When we talk of faith, we always refer to the father of faith, Abraham.
Nígbà tí a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìgbàgbọ́ ni a máa mẹ́nu bà Abrahamu bàbá ìgbàgbọ́.
It was at Bethel that Abraham first met God in communion.
Ní Bẹ́tẹ́lì ni Abrahamu ti kọ́ bá Ọlọ́run pàdé ní ìdàpọ̀.
It was there he set up an altar, and before then there is no record in the Bible that Abraham ever set up an altar to pray or commune with God.
Níbẹ̀ ni ó ti tẹ́ pẹpẹ fún Ọlọ́run. Ṣáájú àkókò yìí a ò ní àkọsílẹ̀ ní Bíbélì pé Abrahamu tẹ́ pẹpẹ sí Ọlọ́run tàbí pé ó ní ìdàpọ̀ pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run.
So Bethel is very significant spiritually and is very historic.
Torí náà Bẹ́tẹ́lì ní ó ṣe pàtàkì nípa ti ẹ̀mí ó sì jẹ́ ohun tí ìtàn dálé lórí.
Let's see Genesis chapter 12.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo Genesis orí 12.
Verses 7 and 8.
Ẹsẹ̀ 7 àti 8.
7. And the Lord appeared unto Abram.
Ẹsẹ̀ 7 Genesis orí 12. Olúwa sì fi ara hàn fún Abrahamu.
That opens the contact between Abraham and God.
Ìyẹn ni ó ṣí ìbálò Abrahamu pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run sílẹ̀.
Abraham, a human being like you and myself.
Abrahamu jẹ́ ènìyàn bí ìwọ àti èmi.
God, the Almighty, the maker of heaven and earth, came down and appeared unto Abraham.
Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ẹlẹ́dàrún ayé sọ̀kalẹ̀ ó fi ara hàn Abrahamu.
Since God has not changed, I have every belief that a God is here as from this morning to appear unto us.
Yes.
So be prepared to see God's revelation as we are meeting with him in this meeting.
Yes. Níwọ̀n àgbà tí Ọlọ́run ò yí padà, mo nígbàgbọ́ pé Ọlọ́run kan náà ó wà láàrin wa bí a ṣe ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìpàdé yìí, ó sì máa wà láàrin wa jálẹ̀ gbogbo ìpéjọpọ̀ wa, torí náà ká fara balẹ̀ fún ìbùkún.
Don't entertain any fear, especially when you remember that God is a spirit and you are mortal, you are human being. How will you be able to see God? I want to assure you that God is so kind, is so merciful, that he will condescend to our level And he will reveal himself to each and every one of us that will be able to discern that God has really appeared unto us.
Kí a má gba ẹ̀rù tàbí kàyéfì láyè nítorí pé ẹni erùpẹ̀ ni wá. Ọlọ́run sì jẹ́ Ọlọ́run ayérayé. Ó sì jẹ́ Ọlọ́run tó ga púpọ̀ púpọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run máa rẹ ara ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ láti sọ ara ẹ̀ di mímọ̀ fún wa. Ó máa rẹ ara ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ láti bá wa dọ́gba ká bàa lè ní ìbárẹ́ àti ìbálò pẹ̀lú ẹ̀.
And the Lord appeared unto Abraham and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him.
Yẹn sì orí kejìlá ẹsẹ̀ keje, Olúwa sì fi ara hàn fún Ábúráhámù. Ó sì wí pé irú ọmọ rẹ̀ lèmi ó fi ilẹ̀ yìí fún. Níbẹ̀ lè ó sì tẹ́ pẹpẹ fún Olúwa tí ó fi ara hàn.
And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord.
Amen. Ẹsẹ̀ kẹjọ, ó sì ṣí kúrò níbẹ̀ lọ sí orí òkè kan ní ìhà ìlà oòrùn Bẹ́tẹ́lì. Ó sì pa àgọ́ rẹ̀ Bẹ́tẹ́lì ní ìwọ̀ oòrùn àti Hai ní ìlà oòrùn. Ó sì tẹ́ pẹpẹ kan níbẹ̀ fún Olúwa. Ó sì ké pe orúkọ Olúwa.
There are a lot of things we want to take note of in these two verses.
Ọ̀pọ̀ nǹkan ni a fẹ́ fiyèsí ní àwọn ẹsẹ̀ méjì yìí.
Abraham rather had been called earlier than this occasion.
A ti pe Ábúráhámù lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣáájú àkókò yìí.
He had gotten out of his people, his kindred, his relations.
Ó ti kúrò láàrin àwọn ará ẹ̀, àwọn ènìyàn ẹ̀.
But at this time at Bethel, a relationship was established between Abraham and God.
Ṣùgbọ́n ní àkókò yìí ní Bẹ́tẹ́lì, a fi ìdí ìbálò láàrin Ábúráhámù àti Ọlọ́run múlẹ̀.
He set up an altar.
Ó tẹ́ pẹpẹ.
Altar signifies sacrifice.
Pẹpẹ dúró fún ìrúbọ.
Sacrifice in those days stands for our prayers today.
Ìrúbọ ní àkókò yẹn sì dúró fún àdúrà wa lónìí.
Abraham set up this altar at Bethel.
Ábúráhámù tẹ́ pẹpẹ yìí ní Bẹ́tẹ́lì.
And he called the name of the Lord there.
Ó sì pe orúkọ Olúwa níbẹ̀.
What does that mean?
Kí ni ìyẹn já sí?
He prayed.
Ó gbàdúrà.
He communed with God.
Ó bá Ọlọ́run ní
He
ìdàpọ̀.
was in fellowship with
Ó
God.
wà ní ìbárẹ́ pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run.
Well, as the title or the theme of our sermon says, back to our Bethel. So our coming here this time, we are grateful that God has opened the way for us to come to our Bethel, where we have come principally to set up an altar of prayer and to commune with God. It is my prayer that God will give us the spirit of prayer to be able to commune with him and get something tangible from him.
Amen. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí kókó ọ̀rọ̀ ìyànjú wa pípadà sí Bẹ́tẹ́lì wa, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé a ní àǹfààní lákòókò yìí láti péjọpọ̀ lọ́nà báyìí. A wá láti tẹ́ pẹpẹ àdúrà sí Olúwa. A wá láti gba ìbùkún. Àdúrà mi ni pé kí Ọlọ́run fún ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ láti lè tẹ́ pẹpẹ àdúrà kí a lè gba àgbàyọrí àdúrà sí Ọlọ́run wa.
It is amazing to see the large crowd of people in attendance at our meeting this morning, and this is a clear indication to show the yearning of our heart to meet God. And God, I am happy, I'm sure he will be happy on his throne, and is right now in our midst to reveal himself to us and to answer our prayers.
Ó jẹ́ ìyanu bákan náà ló jẹ́ ayọ̀ ọkàn wa láti rí ọ̀pọ̀ ènìyàn níhìn ní òwúrọ̀ yìí. Èyí ń fi òǹgbẹ tó wà lọ́kàn ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan láti rí Ọlọ́run hàn. Mo sì mọ̀ dájú pé Ọlọ́run tí a wá sí yìí yóò fi ara hàn fún ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa.
Bethel was the first place which Abraham pitched his tent on his way to Canaan.
Bẹ́tẹ́lì ni ibi ìkíní tí Ábúráhámù ti tẹ́ pẹpẹ ní ìrìn àjò ẹ̀ lọ sí Kénáánì.
Don't forget, Bethel is part of the land of Canaan which God bequeathed to Abraham and his offsprings.
kí a má sì gbàgbé pé bẹ́tẹ́lì jẹ́ apá kan ilẹ̀ kénáánì tí ọlọ́run fi fún abrahamu àti irú ọmọ rẹ̀.
And this was the very first place where he made a personal contact with God.
èyí sì jẹ́ ibi ìkíní tí abrahamu gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan ti ní ìbálò pẹ̀lú ọlọ́run.
So spiritually to us, Bethel is very significant.
yes torí náà nípa ti ẹ̀mí bẹ́tẹ́lì ṣe pàtàkì fún wa púpọ̀.
You know, in the process of time, God bless Abraham. He changed his name to Abraham after he had gotten more of the blessing of God into his life.
bí ìgbà ti ń yí lu ìgbà ọlọ́run bùkún abrahamu ọlọ́run yí orúkọ ẹ̀ padà.
In the process of time, the promise which God gave him was fulfilled in the birth of Isaac.
nígbà tí a kú ọlọ́run sì tó ìlérí tí ọlọ́run ṣe fún ọlọ́run mú un ṣẹ nípa ìbí isaki.
In fulfillment of his promise that he was going to give the land of Canaan to his offspring, to his children, well, Isaac gave birth to Jacob.
ní ìmúṣẹ ìlérí ọlọ́run pé ilẹ̀ kénáánì abrahamu àti irú ọmọ ẹ̀ ni òun máa fi fún isaki bí jacobu.
In the process of time, Jacob, through some family problem, he had to leave home.
ní bí ìgbà ṣe ń lọ jacobu nípa wàhálà abẹ́ ilé òun láti filé sílẹ̀.
He left home in a state of confusion.
ó filé sílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìbànújẹ́ ọkàn.
He left home in a state of anxiety.
ó filé sílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àìní ìdánilójú.
He left home without knowing what lay ahead of him.
ó filé sílẹ̀ láì mọ ohun tó wà níwájú.
Maybe that is your situation this time.
bóyá àkókò ipò tó wù àbáyé nìyẹn.
Maybe that is the state of your life as you came to this camp meeting.
bóyá bí ọ̀rọ̀ ayé ẹ ṣe rí nìyẹn bí o ṣe wá sí àjọ àgọ́ yìí.
Here was Jacob.
jacob nìyí.
He left home
ó fi lélẹ̀.
because he had misbehaved.
torí pé ó ti ṣìwàwù.
But there was something in the heart of Jacob.
ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan kan wà ní ọkàn jacob.
He wanted to do what is good and what is right.
ó fẹ́ ṣe ohun tó dára tó sì tọ́.
And you know, that is how we know the fatherly concern of God for us as a human being.
bí a ṣe mọ ìṣe ìfẹ́ ọlọ́run nìyẹn bí bàbá sí ọmọ.
Sometimes when we come to our wit's end, we don't know what to do, and we are in a confusion. God in his mercy comes down to meet our need.
yes ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbà tí a bá sún kan ògiri tí a ò mọ ohun tí a máa ṣe ọlọ́run máa ń sọ̀kalẹ̀ láti bá àìní wa pàdé.
Such was the state in which Jacob found himself after leaving home.
irú ipò tí jacob wà nìyẹn lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó filé sílẹ̀.
He left home with a great burden upon his heart.
ó filé sílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìwúwo ọkàn.
He was to go to Haran to his maternal uncle to sojourn for a short while until the problem at home will abate.
Háránì ló ní lọ́kàn láti lọ lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n ìyá ẹ̀ kí wàhálà alẹ́ tó yanjú.
But Bethel occurred in his life again.
ṣùgbọ́n bẹ́tẹ̀lì tún yọjú ní.
As he was going towards Padan Aram, he was benighted at a place.
bí ó ṣe ń lọ sí Padan Arami ó ń láti sùn níbì kan.
I'm sure he did not know his grandfather Abraham.
mo mọ̀ pé kò mọ bàbá ẹ̀ àgbà Abraham.
But his father, his grandfather Abraham, the God of his grandfather Abraham, met him at Bethel and did exactly what he did for his grandfather there.
ṣùgbọ́n ọlọ́run bàbá ẹ̀ àgbà Abrahamu ó bá pàdé ní Bẹ́tẹ́lì ó sì ṣe nǹkan kan náà tó ṣe fún Abrahamu fún Jacob níbẹ̀.
Today we say we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the inception of this work in Nigeria.
lónìí à ń ṣe ìrántí 50 ọdún tí iṣẹ́ ìrere yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà.
If this work got started at all, it was because the founder met God at his own Bethel.
yes bí iṣẹ́ ìrere yìí bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ nítorí pé ẹni tó dá sílẹ̀ bá Ọlọ́run pàdé ní Bẹ́tẹ́lì.
Our late Reverend T.G. of Shokoya of a blessed memory met God through prayer, through fellowship, through communion, and that was how this work got started.
alákòóso wa àná ẹni ọ̀wọ́ tí jẹ́ Ọ̀ṣọ́kọ̀yà tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yìí ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ nítorí pé ó bá Ọlọ́run pàdé nípa àdúrà nípa ìjẹ́wọ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ nípa ìdáríjì nípa ayọ̀ ìgbàlà.
Just the same way Abraham started his race spiritual race with God.
bákan náà ni abrahamu bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìn àjò rẹ̀ ti ẹ̀mí pẹ̀lú ọlọ́run.
In the account we shall soon refer to was the grandchild of Abraham, who came to this very spot, Bethel, where he made his peace with God, where he established a fellowship and a sound relationship between himself and God.
níbi tí a máa wò nínú bíbélì a máa rí bí ọmọ abrahamu bó ṣe bá ọlọ́run pàdé ní bẹ́tẹ́lì bí òun náà ṣe bá ọlọ́run sọ àsọyé àti àsọyè tí òun náà rí ìdáríjìgbà.
Genesis 28:16 and 19.
genesis orí kejìdínlọ́gbọ̀n ẹsẹ̀ ìkẹrìndínlógún àti ìkọkàndínlógún.
And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew not.
genesis orí kejìdínlọ́gbọ̀n ẹsẹ̀ ìkẹrìndínlógún. jacob sì jí lé ojú oorun rẹ̀ ó sì wí pé olúwa ń bẹ níhìn nítòótọ́ èmi kò sì mọ̀.
What a change in the life of Jacob.
a lè rí ìyípadà tó ti dé bá jacob.
He came to this point dejected.
ó wá sí yìnyín pẹ̀lú
He
ìbànújẹ́.
came to this point in a state of anxiety, in a state of confusion.
ó dé yìnyín pẹ̀lú àìní ìdánilójú pẹ̀lú ìfòyà.
I'm sure from the background, from where he was brought up, he must have said his prayers before he went to sleep.
mo mọ̀ pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìtọ́ni tí a ti fún a mọ̀ bí a ṣe ń gbàdúrà kí a tó sùn.
And in his sleep, God revealed himself, God appeared unto him.
ní ojú oorun ẹ̀ ọlọ́run fara hàn án.
And when he woke up,
nígbà tó sì jí
he was astonished.
ẹnu yà á.
He was wondering what kind of a relationship, what kind of a fellowship he had had there.
ó wá ṣe ní kàyéfì pé irú ìbálòwò nìyí.
Why? Because he left home a dejected person, he left home a forsaken person, he left home, well, as it were, a vagabond running away from home. But here he found himself in a new fellowship entirely.
torí kí ni ó fi lé sílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìbànújẹ́ ó fi lé sílẹ̀ bí ẹni tí a ti tanù ó fi lé sílẹ̀ bí ìsáǹsá ṣùgbọ́n níhìn-ín ó wá bá nǹkan ìyanu pàdé.
He left home in a state of hopelessness.
ó fi lé sílẹ̀ láì nírètí.
But here, in spite of all these odds against him, God came down and met him.
ṣùgbọ́n níhìn láì fi gbogbo wàhálà gbogbo àṣemáṣe ẹ̀pè ọlọ́run sọ̀kalẹ̀ ó bá pàdé.
And the first testimony that came out of the mouth of Jacob was, apart from he was astonished, he said, God is here and I knew not.
ẹ̀rí kíní tó sì máa ti ẹnu jacob jáde láti ẹ̀fí pẹ̀lú ẹnu yà á pè ní pé ọlọ́run wà níhìn èmi kò sì mọ̀.
That is a living testimony.
ẹ̀rí ààyè nìyẹn.
This was not spoken to his mouth. It was something that came out of his own heart. He testified to the fact that